So you guys ready for the season or what?
Oh yeah, man.
Hey, you just got your new bow, man. That looks nice. Yeah.
Getting ready. Hopefully I could draw blood with it this year.
Yeah, I like your sight. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that spot hog's really nice.
Yeah. You got the new sight too, man.
Yeah.
You just put that in.
I just picked this guy up too. Is the MR5, and with the IQ sight.
That's the speed demon right there.
We'll see how it pans out this hunting season.
Yep.
Cool. All
Can't
right.
wait.
Well, it looks
Got
like
it all
we're all
sighted in. So.
Yeah, it looks like we're all ready for the season, huh?
Yeah.
Well, before the season starts, I mean, I just thought I'd show you guys some spots to shoot. You know, kind of practice, get it, and kind of get your blood flowing. You know, you got to think about how you're gonna execute your shots and be prepared for the season.
Yeah,
so,
that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So I have a spot for us to shoot. Just we'll do some walking around and shooting. So let's go check out this spot.
All right, let's go.
You guys might like it. We'll see. All right. You guys might like this spot. We'll see. All right. You can see that target right there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna be shooting there. But before we shoot, we don't know the yardage or the distance, but this would be a good time because they've never shot it, I've never shot it, so we're just here trying to shoot that target. But maybe it's a good time for you guys to give us some tips on what to do. I mean, if it's me right now, I'm guessing some yardage in my head, and I'm just probably gonna shoot it. But for an average hunter, I mean, what are some tips you guys can give us hunters? To be aware once we're out there, when you see game, you don't want to just launch your arrows out there. So maybe you guys can help us, give some insights.
For me, as bow hunters, we know that this rangefinder is, the difference between making a good shot or making the wrong shot.
Oh yeah.
And if you leave home without it, it's like, oh man, this.
Oh yeah.
This
Many times I've done that, and
I've done that a couple times.
Around a battery.
Out of battery. So. Yeah, but for me, sometimes when you having the rangefinder is great because if you see the deer coming or whatever game you're hunting for, you can always range it. But those are the perfect time, and those are the times where when you're hunting and you're just sitting there, you see them coming from a distance.
You
so
have
you
a lot of time.
Yeah, you have a lot of time. But then there are some times when you're like spot and stock or steel hunting and stuff like that, where you go and you jump a deer. You don't have time to go. What yard is it?
Yeah,
so during those times, what I do is I use my pins as a reference for a quick estimation of yardage.
Yeah, that's a good
like for me, I have a 5-pin, and luckily for my bow, the pins are set pretty. It has a pretty good, pretty close together.
MR6 gotta be.
Yeah, with that speed, yeah.
Yeah, so what I do is I practice and I try to memorize it in my head when I shoot. Like that target over there is what? How many inch do you think that target is? I'm thinking it's about like maybe 30 inch.
Yeah,
up
that
and down.
block. Yep.
Alright, so whatever game you're going after, like a deer is like this, maybe 46 inch, right? And so what you do is you kind of practice at home, get a piece of paper or a ruler or whatever, and you kind of say, all right, measure from ground up is 46 inches, right? Okay. And then you go to your 20 yard or 10 yard, whichever one, however you hunt. And what I do is I'll draw. I say let me range this target. This target is about 35 yards. Somewhere between there. And what I do is I'm pretty fortunate that my pins, from my 20-yard pin to my 60-yard pin, on an average deer, it'll cover from the shoulder to the feet. Okay. So my 20-yard pin, I put it right on top of the deer on the shoulders. Okay. And then wherever the bottom pin is, that's how I judge how far it is.
Oh, okay.
So
it could be anything from 20 to 30 if it's in that area.
Yeah.
Right?
So what it is if I draw my pin and I put it right on the shoulder, and if my 6 pin is right at his feet, then that's 20 yards for me. Okay. And if I do the same, but then I see that my 20-yard pin and my 50-yard pin is from the top from the shoulders to the feet, then that is 30 yards for me. Okay. And so on and so forth. That's why I say I'm pretty fortunate that I'm lucky enough where
that's a very good tip.
Yeah, if it's a 20-yard pin and a 30-yard pin.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Yeah, so then he's way out there. He's like 60 yards from me. Yeah. So if I see it and if I draw and I put that 20-yard pin right on his shoulder, and I see that its feet is touching my 30-yard pin, then that's a 60-yard shot.
Right.
Right. So, just for example, this right here is like I said earlier. I mean, it's what 30. You see if I hit it. That's about 35 yards. Then I go to my 30-yard pin to where I want to hit.
Oh,
There it is.
It's
right
in.
there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Got
so-
it.
That's a good
That's a
estimation.
good estimate.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just for a quick reference. You know, what I mean,
Nice.
you have to practice.
Nice.
And you got to practice, but you know, through time, then you memorize
Right.
the ranges. So that's how you kind of do your quick
Right.
ranges instead of oh, I see a deer coming, and
Right. You don't have time to try to put that rangefinder up and look, and then you gotta already be knocked, and then range it, and then rangefinder at the same time. But that's still gonna take time.
oh
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So you want to, that's a good tip. You want to be able to get that reference point. Like, oh, it's about here. So you want to already put your pins there and shoot. Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully that tip helps.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
That's a really great tip.
Yeah.
Another tip I want to point out too for bow hunters is that the elevation plays a role too, because I noticed that target is slightly elevated, from a horizontal plane. So sometimes that plays a big role too. If whether you have to aim a little bit high or a little bit low.
Right.
But what the tip I want to give to everybody is that one of the bow hunter's worst enemies are branches.
Oh,
yeah.
So you gotta watch out.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
watch
done
out.
that.
Deflection,
Yeah,
deflection,
a handful of
deflection.
all of
those.
us.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
that perfect shot, and we make it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it clips a little branch, and it goes.
Yeah.
All it needs is just that,
I've seen a
one
lot of
little
those,
branch.
yeah.
That's all it
and ruin your
needs.
shot.
You feel
So-
good on the shot, but you just Oh
So
my
what I
God.
want to do is, since he has a clear shot here, I kind of want to move over here a little bit, and like where I'm at, there's a whole bunch of branches, so he already made it easy for me because he already told me the yardage. So thanks. But pretty much what you want to do is, if you have a branch that's kind of overhanging, and when you draw back to shoot, and let's say this is 30 yards, and you have your 30-yard marker pin right dead center in the shoulder where you want to hit, and if you look at your 20-yard pin, if you see any branches that's close to your 20-yard pin, more than likely your arrow might clip that, because the way that the arrow flight goes is it has to arc up and then come back down.
It's not straight.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
just
gravity-
straight.
basically locked.
Gravity does do it.
Yeah.
We all wish it was, but it's called archery for a reason. So the arrow's gonna arch a little bit. So when you have your bow up, and whatever pin you're on, if you're on your 30 pin, if your 20-yard pin is hitting any branches, there's a very good chance that you might clip that branch.
Oh yeah.
So that's also very important too, to look out for. So I'm kind of demonstrate that because I have some overhanging branches here. So when you're getting ready to shoot, when you draw back, if you see any of those branches, you either have to, if you're standing up, you either have to get back to a sitting position to shoot, or you have to kind of scoot around in your tree stand if you can, to kind of get around those branches before you let loose. Okay.
Oh, nice.
There you go,
shot.
just like that. So that's what you
Nice.
want to do.
All right.
Nice.
So if you see any branches, you want to kind of move away from it. So
So just look for the branches. When you draw, no matter how far it is, 60 yards or whatever, just make sure that your pins doesn't have any obstacles. That's
that's
overhanging.
touching it, because more than likely if it's kind of touching towards your pins, you're
It
probably
will
going to
fly
clip
there.
it.
Yeah.
It's going to go there. So
Yeah, I had that.
that's
happen
my
to
tip
me
of
a
the day.
couple
I think
times.
everybody's had
Yeah.
that at least once.
Oh,
yeah.
in their bow
First
hunting
off,
career.
nice
So-
shot.
Yeah,
Nice
good shot, man.
Yeah, but that is a good tip though. Yeah, we've had a lot of situations where you see your game coming down the trail and you're ready to shoot because you're like your blood's pumping. You're like, I'm gonna make that shot, but once you execute that shot, you're like your arrow's just it just deflects and you're like, what happened?
Yep.
And then you sit there, you're like, oh, that's because there was a branch there and I didn't see it, So
Mhm.
it's a good point to just kind of look, okay, where's my 20 yards? Or, if it was at 30 yards, where's my 20-yard pin? If it's not touching any obstacles, I'm gonna hit that target.
Yeah, when
It'd be good
when
just
your
to
heart's
glance,
pumping
right?
and
So-
that big monster's in front of you,
Yeah.
all those little twigs kind of seem to be invisible and they
Yeah.
kind of go away.
Yeah.
But then right when you release, they come back.
Oh,
They
yeah.
haunt you.
Yeah.
So,
That's
All right,
cool.
good tip, man.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Tip. Yeah. And just a quick tip, guys, one other thing is our instrument is very important for us. You know, you might have the best bow and stuff, and best sight and best rest, but if you don't use that to your advantage, then it's pretty much useless. I shoot a spot hog with the level here, and it helps me a lot. What I do is I don't focus too much on that bubble because you're going to be focusing on that and not your shot or your game. But I just glance there once in a while. Every time when I'm drawing back, I just want to make sure that my bubble's kind of in that area. You know, it's probably not going to be a big effect until you get out to 70, 50, 60, 70 yards. You know how much you're canting. You know, that's how much you're going to be off. So, one tip is just glance when you draw back. Glance real quick at your bubble. If it's there, then you're good. Just execute the shot and you'll be fine. So that's a good tip. All right.
That's an excellent tip too.
Alright.
Canting can mess up your shot.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right, so let's go to the next target.
All right,
All right,
let's
let's
go.
go.